Hey, it's Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is Lori Hunter. Lori, welcome to the show.
Thank you for
We're
having
going to
me.
talk about discovering, actually, the Discovery Center.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's very exciting. We have a lot of things happening over there.
What can be exciting about discovering anything? Actually, the individuals that we're talking about discovering are the little people, and I'm not talking about leprechauns. We'll talk about that in March but
Right.
for right now, we're talking about what age group are we looking at?
We're looking at very early learners because one of the tenets is in our mission about being hands-on and interactive with children so that we can hopefully spark that interest of curiosity.
It's one other thing about little people, children, is if you stimulate a desire to learn when they're young, they continue to do it they do, and
They do.
It's an awesome. That is something that is a gift that keeps on giving, and that's awesome. And we have a Discovery Center here. I didn't know we had a Discovery here in Fresno. You've heard that, I think.
Yes.
50 years.
Yeah.
Almost as many years as I am. No, I'm a little older than that, but we're not going to go there. But that's great. And it's located over in the airport area?
Yes, we're right over by the airport on Winery Avenue in between Clinton and McKinley.
I didn't know those buildings were 50 years old over there.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Okay, so little people, kids.
Yes.
And early learners. And so they come in and it's hands-on. That means that they get Ouija boards and
No, not quite like that.
Okay, well, then we'll upgrade. They get like transistor radios. No, a little bit more current than that?
A little bit more current.
So
Yeah.
we're talking like technology stuff and Play-Doh, right? There's got to be
We
Play-Doh.
actually do some projects with Play-Doh. We do a lot
He's
of.
still my heart.
Yes, we actually, one of the things that we did on early this week before New Year's, which, Happy New Year, by the way.
And Happy New Year's to you.
Was we did a basic engineering class where we did a workshop and children were able to work with toothpicks and gumdrops to create towers. And
I work with toothpicks and gumdrops. But the gumdrops don't seem to last very long. No, they make towers. Awesome.
Yeah.
And actually, I have one of my daughters has a doctorate in engineering. And, engineers, they're a breed apart. But if you get them when they're young, you can grow them up and they can actually, they can understand that stuff and build those things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then you never know what's going to happen.
No.
But it's been there 50 years, and I was surprised to find that out. And you said that there are people that are also very surprised sometimes to find that out.
Yes.
How did it get started? Do you know offhand?
I do, actually. It's got a very rich history. The land initially was the Stella Blanca Vineyards.
Okay.
And that was just before Prohibition. And so they shut down at Prohibition. They sold the land to a gentleman named Frank Reedy. And he donated the land to the city of Fresno to be a green space for children. And that was the original idea. And then in the 50s and the 60s, then it was the Junior Museum of Science and Natural History. And it was started by a couple of professors at Fresno State. And then in the 70s, it changed its name to the Discovery Center. And we are now interactive. We've kind of moved away from the natural history piece, and we're really getting into the hands-on interactive STEM education, which is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
And some of that still kind of has its roots in natural history, or can lead to
It does. And natural history is a very large part of sciences, but that is the focus on STEM is definitely needed in the Central Valley.
So, Lori, I got to ask you. I told you that one of my daughters is an engineer. Can I go spend some time there and learn some concepts of engineering so I can have a somewhat intelligible conversation with my daughter?
Maybe during a workshop.
Maybe
during a workshop. Yeah,
So,
we do have a lot of exhibits that are physics-based and...
Okay, for a parent that has a young child, and I'm watching this and I'm going, that's kind of an incredible concept, and maybe I'd like to get my my daughter or my son a heads up, in this process of learning and stuff. What unfolds from that point? I contact the Discovery Center.
Sure.
And then what happens?
Well, actually, we are open 7 days a week.
Really?
We are. We're open Monday through Friday. We're open 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
And then on Saturdays and Sundays, we're open all day. We're open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Cool.
Yeah.
And are there things like various classes or events or whatever that I can sign my child up for, or is it just each day there's something going on that we show up and we can participate? How does that work?
Well, a lot of times we just have the museum open.
Okay.
Now we do, especially over the holiday break, over the last couple of weeks, we've had intermittent workshops.
Okay.
Matter of fact, today we actually have a workshop from 11 to 12 that occurred, and it was on footprints.
Footprints?
And the science behind footprints.
Oh.
Yeah, and being able to tell the difference between animal footprints and human footprints and what makes that up. So it was really interesting.
And so basically every day, for an early learner, there's something interactive there at the Discovery Center, which doesn't necessarily have to be tied to any organized class or
Correct.
event or anything. So
Right.
I can bring my grandkids down and turn them loose. I can walk through with there, and I can learn along with them. How
Right.
parents can participate with their
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we highly encourage parent participation.
Awesome.
Because of the fact that one of the things that we've noticed is there have been several papers published based on the fact that children kind of start losing their interest in the sciences. And so that parent participation is really key to keep them engaged. And I think if the parents really want to set their children up for success, especially these days.
And boy, it's a story for another time, Lori. But yeah, it starts
Yes.
much younger today than it used to.
Absolutely.
And involved parents seem to, like you say, their children tend to stay connected with the idea of learning, and that helps them through kindergarten, and from kindergarten to grade school, and grade school
Absolutely.
into middle school, and middle school into high school. And if you're not working, if you have an idea that your child is going to go to a more advanced, higher level of education, if you're not working with them really young nowadays, and that's part of the change. When I was a long time ago, but you could graduate high school, think about what you're going to do for several years, and then go to whatever college or university, providing you qualified grade-wise, you could just
Right.
go. Today, you got to put together a resume, and that resume has to start, all the way back to almost pre-middle school.
Right.
So if you have helped develop an interest, in your child develop an interest in learning and science and stuff, and you want them to, be an engineer, for example, or, something in the tech sciences or science in general, or healthcare sciences and stuff, you really need to, you got to get it early.
You do.
And you got to keep working it.
You do have to.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we really want to help parents with.
Yeah.
I mean, every parent wants their child to be successful. So, we want to work with them. We also, we actually do field trips with schools.
Oh, do you?
We do. So last year we had over 12,000 kids come through the center for presentations and workshops and educational field trips.
Right. So the last thing, Lori, before we close out this segment, what does the Discovery Center need?
It needs community support.
Okay.
We're all about the community.
Okay. Support from the community. You need volunteers. You need, financial donations.
All the above, actually.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, we want to definitely not just keep the doors open. We want to flourish.
Okay.
And that's
And
going
so
to
it
help.
takes those things.
It does.
Maybe a grant writer, someone that, all that stuff. You know.
Yeah, we are a nonprofit, so.
There you go. And if you happen to be someone in the community, maybe you don't have a child right now, but you'd like to see this. You know, it's been around 50 years. There's no guarantee it'll be around 51 without people participating. And if you're planning on having little ones around 2 or 3 years from now, and so you're going to maybe another 3 or 4 years, they're going to be there, it's going to take some time. You know what? Maybe you want to volunteer, help grant write, or help, promote, or, fundraise, or, if you have things that you can donate that they can use. And they need to check with you about what kind of donations you can use.
Yeah, actually, on our donation page, we actually have Amazon wish lists.
There you go.
For all of the supplies that we use through our education programs. We also have live animals, and we have an entire reptile room, which the kids absolutely love, but those animals do require upkeep.
I have a son that's a wild animal. Can I? No. Okay. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I appreciate you coming in today. Appreciate what the Discovery Center does. Keep us posted. You have an event of some kind coming up, a fundraising event, or a special open house or whatever. Come on back. We'll talk about it.
Absolutely. I would love to.
Very good.
All
Again,
right.
thanks for being with us today,
Thank you so much.
Discovery Center here in Fresno, over in the airport area on Winery. Address?
On Winery. It would be 1944 North Winery.
1944, almost the year I was born. Well, I'm not going to go there. What about Facebook, web pages? What
Absolutely. We're on social media. We're on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. And on our website, we've got links for everything at FresnoDiscoveryCenter.org.
There you go. That's it. Our future is in our hands. Our kids' future is in our hands, too. Think about it. And I'll see you when we come back.